We talk about freedom all the time. It's the dream, right? The ability to do what you want, when you want. But hold on a second. What if I told you that most of your choices are already made for you? What if the system we live in, the very fabric of society, is actually a giant invisible hand guiding our every move? Think about it. The education you receive, the job you can get, even the food you eat. It's all influenced by forces bigger than ourselves. From the moment we're born, we're slotted into this system. We're told what to value, what to believe, and how to behave. Now, I'm not saying you don't have any choices at all. You can choose between Coke or Pepsi, Marvel or DC, but are these really choices that matter? Or are they just carefully curated options designed to keep us consuming within the system? It's a question worth asking, because if we don't even realize the extent to which our choices are limited, can we truly call ourselves free? Let's talk about the system, this behemoth we're all tangled up in. It's made up of economics, culture, politics, all these interwoven threads that create the tapestry of our lives. The thing about systems is they're self-perpetuating. They're designed to keep themselves going, even if it means keeping us down. Take economics. We're born into a world where we need money to survive, right? But the system makes it hard to get ahead. You need a good job, but good jobs require education, and education, well, that can cost an arm and a leg. It's a cycle that's tough to break. Then there's culture. We're bombarded with messages about what it means to be successful, what we should buy, how we should look. This creates a culture of comparison where we're constantly striving for something that's always just out of reach. And let's not forget politics. The people in power, the ones who make the rules, often have a vested interest in maintaining the status quo. They benefit from the system as it is, so why would they want to change it? The system is like a giant game of chess, and guess what? We're the pawns. We might have some limited movement, but the real power lies with the players at the top. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is getting a bit heavy, right? But here's the thing. Understanding how systems control us is not about dwelling in despair. It's about learning from the past, so we don't repeat it. And there's no better example of this than Nazi Germany. We look back at that period in history with horror, right? How could an entire nation go along with such atrocities? How could ordinary people participate in such evil? Well, that's the thing about evil. It often doesn't announce itself with a bang, but with a whisper. Hannah Arendt, a brilliant philosopher, called this the banality of evil. She argued that many Nazis weren't inherently evil people. They were ordinary people who, caught in the machinery of a totalitarian system, simply followed orders. They became cogs in a machine, blinded by propaganda and fear. The lesson here is chillingly simple. We are all capable of great evil when we surrender our moral agency to a system that demands it, and that's why we need to be vigilant, always questioning, always thinking for ourselves. Okay, so we've talked about Nazi Germany, but this isn't just ancient history, folks. This is happening right now, all around us. We're living in a time where powerful systems are shaping our lives in profound ways. Take capitalism, for example. It's the dominant economic system in the world, and on the surface it seems like freedom, right? You can work hard, be your own boss, chase that American dream, but here's the thing. Capitalism thrives on consumption. It needs us to keep buying, keep wanting more, even if it means going into debt. Then there's the climate crisis. We're facing a planetary emergency, and yet we're stuck in a system that prioritizes profit over the planet. Corporations pollute, governments drag their feet, and we're left feeling helpless and hopeless. And let's not forget the misinformation epidemic. Social media algorithms feed us personalized echo chambers, reinforcing our existing biases and making it harder to discern truth from fiction. We're being manipulated, divided, and controlled. These are just a few examples of the systemic forces that shape our lives. The question is, how do we navigate this complex web of control? How do we reclaim our agency in a world where freedom often feels like an illusion? So where do we go from here? Is escape even possible? Can we actually break free from these all-encompassing systems? The truth is, there's no easy answer. We can't just wish the system away. It's too deeply entrenched in every aspect of our lives. But here's a thought. What if true freedom isn't about escaping the system altogether, but about how we choose to exist within it? What if it's about recognizing the constraints, the limitations, and then finding ways to carve out our own space, to live authentically despite the pressures. The philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "Man is condemned to be free." What he meant was that we always have a choice, even in the face of overwhelming odds. We can choose how we respond to the systems that bind us. This isn't about naive optimism, it's about radical responsibility. It's about acknowledging the reality of our situation and then asking ourselves, what can I do here and now to live a life that aligns with my values? This might sound daunting. How can our small acts of resistance really make a difference in the face of such massive systems? It's easy to feel insignificant, like our choices don't really matter. But that's where Viktor Frankl's wisdom comes in. He was a psychiatrist who survived the Holocaust, and he said everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Frankl found meaning in the midst of unimaginable suffering because he chose to focus on what he could control, his own response to the situation. He couldn't escape the horrors of the concentration camp, but he could choose how he faced each day. His story reminds us that even in the darkest of times, we have the power to choose our attitude, to find meaning and purpose. It might be a small act of defiance, a quiet rebellion against the system, but it's a start. So we come back to the question we started with. What is freedom? In a world defined by systems where choices are often limited, where do we find true liberation? Maybe, just maybe, it's not about breaking free from all constraints. Maybe it's about recognizing the cage we're in and then finding ways to dance within it. Maybe it's about embracing our agency, however small it may seem, and using it to create meaning, to fight for justice, to live a life that reflects our values. What do you think? What does freedom mean to you? Thank you for watching Deep Thoughts Daily. This video was inspired by a great comment on one of our earlier episodes. If something here resonates with you, drop a thought below. It might spark the next topic. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content.